Hello adventurers, this is Miss Megan with Warrensburg Adventure Club, and I am so excited to teach you the very first step of crochet. Now I did show you how to make the yarn balls, and that's also very important, but now we're actually going to get started using our hook and our yarn. So the very first thing we're going to learn is how to make one of these little guys. It is called a chain. Now you use this stitch with other stitches and more complicated patterns, but the most important thing about this stitch is this is how you should start pretty much all of your flat crochet. If we were doing a hat, it'd be a little different, but let's say we wanted to make a scarf or a blanket or anything like that. You start with your chain, it's your foundation, and then you build on top of it. So what you will need today, you will need some yarn, preferably something with a lighter color. The darker the color, the harder it is to see, so we really want to make sure we can see what we're doing. You will need a crochet hook. I sent some links to your parents through our supply list about what type of hook you should be looking for. The bigger the better, but I like to start off with an H or an I, so that is a 5mm or a 5.5. I've got these fancy plastic light up guys with a nice grip, but you can also just get a plain old-fashioned metal one. But I wouldn't go any smaller than this. And of course you need a pair of scissors. So now I'm going to cut to a different view so you can see how this works. The first thing we're going to learn how to do is make a slip knot. Now I've been doing this forever, so here's how I make a slip knot. No worries, I'm going to slow it down so you can see how it works. First, you're going to lay out a loop. You want the end of your yarn to lay on top of your loop, like this. Then you're going to grab your loop and place it over the yarn that's coming off your yarn ball. Grab the yarn that's coming off your yarn ball through your loop, like this. Holding your loop in one hand, pull on the end of your yarn to tighten. That's how you make a slip knot. When it's time to put your hook into your slip knot, you want to make sure the yarn that is coming off your yarn ball is coming out the left side of your hook. When you pull this yarn tight, the slip knot should slide easily down towards your hook. If this doesn't work, you probably just need to flip it over and you'll be good to go. Now we're ready to start crocheting. I'm going to hold the hook like this for now, but I'll show you some other ways you can hold your hook in just a minute. When we're crocheting, we always want to pull the yarn over our hook from back to front, like this. Again, that's back to front in a clockwise direction. Once you've done that, grab the loop that's already on your hook and pull it over the yarn you just pulled around. That's all there is to it. You've done your first chain. Let me show you again. I'm pulling my yarn over, then I'm pulling my bottom loop over the yarn I just pulled around. The hook part of your crochet hook should sort of grab onto the loop you're not pulling over. So now that I've shown you how chaining works, I'm going to show you different ways to hold your hook. Here, I'm going to hold it more like a pencil. I'm also going to show you how you can use your hook to grab your yarn and pull through without using your fingers to help you. Again, this is just an alternate way to work. The most important thing is to find what works for you. Another thing you have to consider when crocheting is how to hold your work and your yarn. As you can see here, I'm holding the chain I've already made in the fingers on my right hand. And I'm guiding my yarn with my left hand. Here's how I chain. Lastly, tension is also important when it comes to crocheting. What is tension? The more you pull your yarn when you crochet, the tighter your stitches. The less you pull your yarn while you crochet, the looser your stitches. In general, especially when you're first starting out, you want to work as loosely as you can. This will make it easier to add stitches to your chain later on. This can take quite a while to get used to, and it will require lots of practice. But don't worry, You'll find your level of comfort before you know it. Just keep at it and figure out what works for you. Before I finish my chain, I want to show you one of the coolest things about crochet. If you mess up at all you have to do is pull your yarn and pop some of the stitches off, like this. Just pull past your mistake and put your hook back in. To finish your chain, cut your yarn, leave a decent tail, pull the yarn all the way through, and pull tight. Now your chain is secure. Alright adventurers, I hope you guys enjoyed this lesson. I am so excited to teach you more about crochet. Now you want to practice your chain as much as you can because crochet is all about tension. And the more consistent you can chain, and the more you have control over the tightness of the chain, the better you will be in the long run. So I would practice doing it really tight, and I would practice doing it really loose. The looser it is, the easier it is going to be to work into. But let's say you made a hat and you wanted to make little dangly dingle bob things and you need a chain to hold it on, then you would need a tighter chain. So just kind of experiment, use different hook sizes and such, but just chain as much as you can. Chain a whole ball of yarn if you want. You can hang it up around your room, pretend it's a jungle. It's a lot of fun, even just with a chain. So until next time, this has been Miss Megan with Warrensburg Adventure Club. Have a great day.